Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the ridiculousness that is Nigeria is getting more ridiculous by the minute. Guys, I bring you this CNN BBC coverage of hashtag #EndSARS protest. Disgusting. Mallam Buhari, this is being attributed to, of course, via a spokesperson, no doubt, but this is now the response of the so-called president of Nigeria to international protestations against killing his own people. Disgusting is how he is describing it, but then, of course, disgusting is how CNN and BBC are describing what happened at Lekki Tollgate. Again, the headline, CNN BBC coverage of hashtag #EndSARS protest disgusting, a headline attributed to Mallam Buhari. So now let's now see how the Malami describes this. President Muhammadu Buhari says he is disgusted with the coverage of the #EndSARS protest by foreign media, including the British Broadcasting Corporation BBC and America's cable news network CNN. He expressed this at a meeting with state governors at the presidential villa in Abuja on Tuesday. Nigerian youths in October held the #EndSARS protest in major cities, demanding the dissolution of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS of the police and end to police brutality. The SARS, which was dissolved days into the protest, was notorious for extrajudicial killings, harassment, and excessive use of force. The protest gained global traction with prominent people across the globe lending their voices to the campaign. The largely peaceful protest was later hijacked by hoodlums who unleashed acts such as looting and arson. However, on October the 20th, 2 weeks after the protest began, Nigerian soldiers shot unarmed protesters at Lekki Tollgate Plaza in Lagos State. This generated a furore, forcing the army and the Lagos State government to initially deny the shooting. Investigations showed that some persons died and many sustained injuries in the incident. A special report by CNN said soldiers shot at protesters, killing many. The investigation uncovered the bullet used as a 2015 brand from Serbia. This refuted the claims from the army denying the use of live ammunition. The Nigerian government condemned the CNN report as fallacious and irresponsible. Meanwhile, in his first public comment on the coverage of the protest, the president said the foreign media coverage was not balanced. He specifically accused CNN and BBC of omitting the killing of police officers and attacks on police stations and prisons. I was disgusted by the coverage, which did not give attention to the policemen that were killed, the stations that were burnt, and the prisons that were opened. They said we are all at fault. We don't have the sympathy of anyone. We are on our own, he was quoted as saying by spokesman Garba Shehu. President Buhari further warned that the government would no longer allow violent demonstration in Nigeria, adding, democracy does not mean confusion or lack of accountability. On the destruction of private and public property, Mr. Buhari says no responsible government will allow such to happen again. We do not stop anyone from demonstrating, but you don't set up roadblocks and smash windscreens. Which government will allow that? So this is now Buhari now coming out of a state of comatose to respond to events that has happened now going on 2 months ago. So this is now the speed of our response of the Buhari regime, but then of course we explore that response. So what exactly is he saying is really where we have to start from. What exactly is Mallam Buhari saying? So Mallam Buhari is saying that he's disgusted by the coverage of the BBC and the CNN, especially of the Lekki Tollgate protest. So this is his response. So now, firstly, these are noted and reputable international frontrunners when it comes to media and news coverage. So you don't get more reputable than the BBC and the CNN, and these people don't rush to air to just speak off the cuff. They investigate and they double check before they go into the public space to make a statement, to announce a broadcast. So, of course, I don't think anybody on this planet would take the weight of Mallam Buhari's words against the weight of the words of the BBC or the CNN. Not anybody on this planet, not even a single being within Nigeria, would weigh the words of Buhari against the words of BBC and CNN. So the CNN did this reportage where they gathered all of the materials available and did a timestamp of the sequence of events to give a fairly detailed and a fairly evidenced report of what happened at Lekki Tollgate. So they spoke to eyewitnesses, the people that were there. They took all of the images that they could find and all of the video coverages and the timestamps of movements of persons to the point that we actually saw on that CNN report, shots being fired by the Nigerian army into a crowd. So when you track their trajectory from their base in Victoria Land up to the point of the scene of the incident, and then you then present clips of people in army uniforms, and the armies have admitted that they were there, so the people in army uniforms would have to be the army, and then you show clips of these people now in army uniforms firing live, well, we don't know if it's live or not, but certainly firing ammunition, firing rifles into a crowd. So we saw that clip in that CNN broadcast of the army firing into the crowd. So the CNN report then said that the army are firing into the crowd, and the clip is showing that the army is firing into the crowd. So which part of that is untrue, or which part of it does not quite capture exactly what happened there? But then, of course, Mallam Buhari's argument is that the CNN should have gone around all the police stations in Nigeria that were burnt down by angry youths to say that, look, the angry youths also burnt down the police stations too. So I think this is this guy completely missing the point, really, because the narrative of the NSAS is not the acts of hoodlum elements within that are infiltrated rather that movement. That is not the narrative. The narrative of NSAS is the circumstances that has led to Nigerian youths feeling the need to take to the streets. And by the way, when a Nigerian youth decides to take to the streets to protest, he is playing Russian roulette with his life. You are playing Russian roulette with your life if you go on the streets of Nigeria to protest, especially against the government. We all know this, and we have seen countless examples of this, because the Nigerian government does not really brook any protestations, and the way that they respond to protestations is the way that they responded at Lekki Tollgate. We saw that with the Shiite movement when they are protesting on the street of Abuja, and suddenly Mallam Buhari would open AK-47 on them and just shoot at will and bring as many down as many rounds that are in that rifle. So we've seen all that. We saw what happened in Kaduna State all those years ago, although during the Buhari regime still, when this same Shiite movement were protesting there, and then they just wiped down about 300 of them, which is what has led to their leader being detained, by the way, and these endless protestations that we saw in Abuja. So you know the antecedents of this particular. So when a Nigerian youth does take to the streets to protest, he is playing Russian roulette with his life. But then, of course, the circumstances in the country are such that your life is at death's door anyway. And that slow death is that suddenly they wake up and just increase the price of everything by 100%. And when you go on the streets, of course, you are either running the gauntlets of the DSS, the police, the OPC and the APC and the traffic wardens. So slowly, drip, 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 they call you, they kill you rather with small cuts, or you go out on the streets and protest and just take that bullet once and for all. So it is the once and for all bullet option that is the protest that you decide to go and participate when you go on the streets to protest in Nigeria. So Russian roulette with your life, and this is really the situation on the streets. So an understanding of this situation is either too complex for Buhari's mind, or it's too big a topic for him to take on, or he just doesn't care because he enjoys the status quo when he and his just clansmen continue to loot the money unabated. So either status quo or this protestation, that was the option, and this is really where the weight of this general topic is. This is where the discussion is. But then, of course, what aggrieves Mallam Buhari the most is the fact that the CNN and the BBC have the effrontery and the audacity to ask him to stop killing his own people. So this is what aggrieves him the most, as he now comes out into the public space to say that he's disgusted by the BBC and the CNN. Conversations in the comment section, the Malami, he just doesn't get it. He either doesn't have the capacity to get it, or he's been deliberately or obfuscating, or is just trying to hide away from the truth. I personally think that he doesn't get it, because I don't think this guy has the intelligence level to have an understanding of pretty much what is going on around him. He's a bread and butter sort of a guy. Where is the money? I give this to this guy, we share it in this way, and go and ask the CBN to bring more money. So it's that sort of approach. This guy has no concept of anything. How can Buhari have any concept of the world that we live in now? It's a simple question. How can a person like Buhari, in any understanding that you have of this guy, have any concept of the world that we live in now? The world of cryptocurrencies, the world of artificial intelligence, the world of digital nomads and virtual living. How can somebody like Mallam Buhari, a point and shoot sort of a guy, a soldier boy without a school cert, how can he have any grasp of the environment that we live in now? So this is the situation we find ourselves, to the point now that the thing that disgusts this guy the most is the fact that the BBC and the CNN are highlighting what he's doing to Nigerians, to the international community. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section, but before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come tell me then, Buhari has said what disgusts him. What disgusts you is the question. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.